Today I want to explain a tricky, nuanced mistake that some of my smartest, most successful clients make. And this is related to perfectionism. Because when these people, these successful, intelligent, highly rational people, are focused on perfectionism, it turns out what they're actually focused on is a kind of false perfectionism or shadow perfectionism. So today I want to talk about what that means and what you can do about it. What I see with so many of my clients is that they believe that perfection means a perfect process. It means if I want to become a content creator, I need to develop the perfect process for making videos or writing blog posts. Right? I need to develop such an efficient system that incorporates all the best practices, that is so well researched, that produces the perfect video every time, the perfect post every time. That's what perfection means. The problem is that there is an important cog in that machine that they're not accounting for. The human element. And specifically, the you element. So, if you have a so-called perfect process, but every time you implement it, it causes you a lot of stress, it aggravates you, it takes forever, it saps your energy, and maybe you often end up not even releasing the thing that you've been perfectly working on, right? You're so caught up in perfection, of exploring all the possible pathways, all the best practices, right? That maybe you're even famous at your company or among your friends as if you want someone to design an amazing spreadsheet with all the algorithms, all the nice columns, all the colors, everything. If you want someone to design the perfect process, the perfect plan, go to this person. But don't go to that person if you actually want results. If you actually want the thing to be released, to be finished. Right? So this happens especially with a lot of ENTPs I work with, INTPs, some INTJs even, ENFPs. And I've been really guilty of this my whole life too. I've chased perfection, but perfection in the wrong way. I used to spend hours and hours on each blog post. I had researched and learned, all the best ways, all the best hooks that you're supposed to use, the exact structure that you're supposed to use, how exactly to craft the perfect headlines. And it just took so long to create each post. I would go through draft after draft, polishing, and finally I would release it. And, often not even many people would read it. Right? So I put so much effort into it, thinking it was so perfect. And it just wasn't worth it. And even if a lot of people had read it, it still wouldn't have been worth it often, that amount of effort. And so this is why when I started my YouTube channel, at first, my first instinct was, of course, I'm going to research all the best practices. I'm going to get the best editing software. I'm going to figure out exactly how to cut everything, edit it perfectly. And then I realized if I'm spending hours and hours on every single video, I'm not going to want to do it. That's what happened to me when I was blogging for a couple years really regularly. And for a while, I had a very consistent pattern that I was really proud of myself for. But eventually, I just lost steam. I lost the energy. It wasn't fun for me anymore because it wasn't accounting for the human element, me. Right? And so for the process to actually be a perfect process, it needs to be perfect for you. Because you are the most important part of that process, right? I mean, assuming it's a process related to you and your work, right? And so the only truly perfect process is the one that actually takes care of you, your needs, and energizes you, or at least prevents you from feeling really drained, and that it achieves your outcome, achieves your goal, your objective, right? And it's fine if maybe your objective is, I'm going to release a video once a year and it's going to be the most perfect video imaginable. I'm going to spend so many hours editing it. It's going to be incredible. Cool. if that's your goal, right? My objective is to create a flawless video, and I'm willing to put in as much time and effort as it takes, then great. That's an acceptable objective. But if your objective is, I want to release videos weekly or daily, then there's no way that you can do that, at that level, at that standard, without hurting your mental health, without draining yourself, right? And so your objective then, that objective has to be, I want to release something regularly while reducing the negative impact on me as much as possible, right? That's how you make a sustainable process. And this is a mistake that so many leaders make, even at huge Fortune 500 companies that I've coached, that they say, well, this deadline is so important. This particular product launch or this feature launch is so important that it's all hands on deck. We're going to push everyone to work weekends, work overtime, get it done. But that's short-sighted because you're focused so much on that short-term objective that you burn everyone out. And then you falter on the next objective, right? So the best leaders know how to balance short-term results with sustainability. So, my key message to you today is to get clear on what is your actual objective. It can't be, to have your cake and eat it too. It can't be, I want to make a flawless video every single week and feel happy with my life. That's probably not going to happen, right? So you have to sacrifice somewhere. You have to lower your standards somewhere. Either you lower your expectation for your happiness, your self-care, your fulfillment in life, right? Or you lower your standards, or you lower the frequency, right? And this applies not just to content creation, but really to anything in life. So remember that, if you are creating a machine to output products, it's so easy to get caught up in designing the perfect machine and spending all your time and effort on the machine, but then failing to notice that the product being output is, misshapen. It's not actually perfect, right? Or you're hoping that it's going to make 10 products an hour and it actually only makes 1 a day. Uh-oh. Like, you think you have the perfect machine, but something's going wrong in the actual output, right? And that applies to you too. So get really clear on what is your actual objective. What are you willing to sacrifice? And make sure that you understand a perfect process is not actually perfect unless it works for you, unless it includes you, right? Just how the most perfect workout is the one that you'll actually do, right? If you read somewhere that the perfect exercise requires 3 hours a day, that's nice. Who cares? You're probably not going to do that, right? The real perfect exercise is maybe the one that takes 20 minutes that you actually do every day. All right? So if you are a perfectionist, I encourage you to seek actual perfection, which means something that truly works in the real world for you. I hope that helps. Love to hear from you in the comments how this lands. I hope you have a nourishing day.